Speaking towards the influence of the game, who do you think is the most influential player of our generation?
Our generation, basketball-wise?
Yeah.
Once again, LeBron. That's the first thing. If not LeBron, then Curry. Everybody's a big fan of Curry. Yeah. My grandma, that's all. She's in love with Curry. That's all you hear her talk about. Curry this, Curry that. So it's just between them two, really. And Giannis, he's coming up now, so he's also a part of that too now.
Yeah, those were my top two for sure. Was going to be Steph Curry or LeBron James, because LeBron James started with the decision. He started the player got more independence. The player could, call their shots, say where they want to go, when they want to get traded, where they want to go. And it also started the super teams, which we saw completely change the landscape of the NBA when the Golden State Warriors signed KD, and now you got all these other teams souping up. You had the Nets, pile together. That didn't work out. Super teams don't always work out as good as they say they do, though. A lot of things sound better in theory, but when you put them together, their personalities might not mix. Yeah. People forget at the end of the day, it's still a very big, ego-driven game.
Right.
These guys all think they're the best. They all think that they want to, they all think they're going to score 30 points a game. And no one wants to be able to take the seat and pass the ball when it's time for the last shot. Everyone wants to take it, and you don't win like that. That plays back more into the Chicago Bull era, like we were saying, where everybody had a role, everybody knew the role, everybody knew who was doing this. There was no question. But when you pair guys like James Harden, guys like Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant together, then they only get to play 16 games. It just seems like stuff like that can't stick. You've seen it with the Lakers team with Dwight Howard and Kobe and whatnot. But what reminds me, the common era in that team, the Nets, the common, thing that was causing controversy is kind of happening in Philadelphia, just like it happened in Houston. Seems like James Harden is stirring up trouble everywhere. Do you think James Harden is really I'm not gonna say is he as good as what people make him out to seem, but is he going to be able to be elite? Is his game more of a ball hog? Give me the ball for 20 seconds, and I'm going to try to force a shot or try to get a foul. What do you think about James Harden? Is he really elite? Is he really going to win a ring, or is he just going to be sitting here like a street ball player in the NBA?
I honestly just think he's going to end up being a street ball player. He's starting to become more and more lazy, during time. Like, he's just focusing more on offense. He's clearly an offensive player. He doesn't do anything else but offense. And so you can't really benefit anything if you're just going to play offense. You got to play defense. You got to do everything. And for him to just, even in offense, he's not even doing as really good as he was when he was with the Rockets. So, everything's just, with him also just going downhill too.
It seems like that's such people don't really realize that a lot of these players might not necessarily be motivated by winning. They might not necessarily be motivated by, building a legacy. They might just want money. Or they might just want the attention. They might just want to go out there and play the game. James Harden doesn't seem focused because, I was a huge Houston Rockets fan, huge James Harden fan. And I got to witness firsthand James Harden, not seem committed or whatnot. I remember I went to a game on New Year's Eve. He got hurt, whatnot. Close game, small injury. He didn't return. Chris Paul had to shoulder the load. Thank God we won. Right. Then that night, like I said, New Year's Eve, that night, James Harden's out in the club. And then the next couple years, James Harden goes out here. Yeah. He skips training camp, starts going out all over on pretty much a world tour with Lil Baby. It just seems like the focus is not there. It kind of brings me back to Kobe and Shaq when Kobe tried to sit down and get Shaq right. Like, come on, you need to focus. You need to lose weight. You need to get more conditioned. We can really win. They had a three-peat off the rip. Yeah,
people tend to get on that level of professional sports, and they'll start getting all this money and stuff, and then they just lose complete focus of everything they have to do, and so it just ruins the whole. Their whole mindsets towards things now is like, oh, I got money now, so I could just do whatever and, go on the court and people still gonna pay me, So that's I don't know what to say about that, but as far as that goes, that's what that is.
For the I heard a Pat McAfee show talking about for that mental side of it. A lot of these athletes have, once they get these big contracts, they kind of have trouble with that pressure. Let's look at Patrick Mahomes, for instance. And I'm not going to speak for him by any stretch of the imagination. This is my hypothesis after hearing what I heard on the Pat McAfee show. These guys, they go their whole life, proving their worth and whatnot. Yeah. They finally get it. Maybe that hunger's gone. Maybe that drive's gone. Like I said earlier, the guys might just want money. Some of them. But, not everybody at the end of the day wants to be the greatest of all time. And